The night audit that didn't balance. Night keeps different books than day. Day pretends every transaction is clean. Night knows the numbers are always flirting with something they shouldn't. I'm the night auditor at the Harbor Meridian, a blunt glass hotel pressed to the river like a mirror that forgot which side is true. While the city sleeps badly, I reconcile the day's sins: room revenue, comp sheets, minibar thefts disguised as misunderstandings. I balance columns until they behave. People rarely do. Maya says the graveyard shift makes my eyes look like I've been up to something. She says it with a smile like a confidential envelope. Maya runs events at the Meridian, the wedding tastings and corporate galas that try to launder desire with linens. We met over a tray of lemon tartlets when I was fixing a chargeback, and she was fixing a bride's panic attack. I fell for the way she could stand in a ballroom and talk an entire room into the same breath. We live 3 tram stops away, above a pharmacy that believes in fluorescent honesty. On my nights off, we eat at the diner that refuses to die, and we make love like we're stealing time from a better story. We keep it decent, yes, but there's a way her back arches when she's ready to trust gravity that still makes me forget how to count. The Meridian runs on 2 things: a property management system called Orpheus that remembers more than you want it to, and a staff that remembers less when it helps. Orpheus logs every key made, every door opened. My best friend Nico is head of security. He knows the cameras like he knows the moles on his own shoulders. He also knows me from the days we hauled speaker stacks for bands that never paid us. In another life, he taught me to break into my own car with a shoelace and a prayer. The night it didn't balance, the ballroom was wearing fairy lights and regret. A tech company was celebrating a product launch with champagne that had worked too hard. Maya had spent 2 weeks teaching them how to look rich without looking tacky. At 0019, the bar ledger printed wrong. The gratuity doubled itself like a drunk multiplication table. I flagged it, fixed it, moved on. At 0043, Orpheus threw me a key log I didn't like. Room 1503, 2 keys made within 3 minutes. That's not abnormal if a guest loses one walking between elevators and bad decisions. It's abnormal when the second key is a master tier, created with a code only management has. I checked the profile. 1503 was blocked for the Braden Tech VIP lounge that Maya had bullied into existing. The VIP was JKIRKWOOD+1, paid on a direct bill account from a company that buys ad space on bus stops like it's a personality trait. The notes: no housekeeping, no wake-up calls, midnight charcuterie. It smelled like a man trying to keep a secret fed. I told myself not to text Maya. She was likely still packing centerpieces into crates and kissing old ladies on both cheeks. I called Nico instead. "You're awake," he said. Nico treats obvious statements like courtesy. 2 keys for 1503. One of them a master, I said. Tell me it's a glitch and we can go back to being men who overtip barbacks. Master was mine, he said after a second. Guest reported a door that wouldn't close. I reset the latch. You. Personally, he said. Because the engineer was eating noodles and crying in the boiler room about his divorce, and I was feeling useful. I wanted to believe him completely. I almost did. Then Orpheus hummed again, an electronic throat clearing. 1503, do not disturb toggled at 0051. That's not unusual either. But the pattern tasted wrong. 2 keys, 1 master, then a D&D thrown like a blanket over a shape I couldn't name yet. At 0107, a note hit my internal inbox from the catering office, timestamped by a harried assistant. VIP asked for extra ice. Sent Maya. The subject line was an accidental confession. She typed the guest's name where the subject should go. KIRKWOOD, Ice Maya. I stood up too fast and the rolling chair tried to escape. I told myself it was scheduling, not mystery. I told myself Maya had delivered a bucket and a joke and come right back down. At 01:19, the elevator camera pinged motion. Nico has given me access before when we needed to catch a guest doing violence to the minibar. I shouldn't have done it for my own heart, but I did. I pulled the feed. The camera caught the back of Maya's head, hair coiled, hand holding a silver bucket, walking into the elevator alone. At 01:28, the same camera caught her coming down, hair slightly messier, the bucket empty. She smiled at someone just off frame. The doors closed, that was all. I could have gone cold at the desk and finished the audit like a professional with better boundaries. Instead, I printed the folio for 1503. It held a few small luxuries that told their own story. 2 champagnes, 1 midnight cheese board, an extra hour added to the D&D window, and a $0 charge for post-event consultation. That last line struck me like a sentence said softly next to a bed. I saw Maya at 02:03 in the employee corridor by the service elevator, leaning against a rack of folded tablecloths like a person who had remembered something heavy and decided to put it down. She was fixing a lipstick that didn't need fixing. When she saw me, she softened in that way that still kills me. "Shouldn't you be making the numbers behave?" she said. "They're misbehaving enthusiastically," I said. "Walk with me." We went to the back stairwell, the one that smells like detergent and old metal. There is something obscene about stairwell intimacy. You hear things better. I didn't touch her because I hadn't earned it yet. "Room 1503, I said. She watched my mouth as if I were reading a menu aloud. "The VIP, she said carefully. "Midnight ice. Lousy taste in cufflinks." "You went up," I said. "You came down. I could have left it there. I didn't. Was there a middle?" She closed her eyes. When she opened them, they were the color of a decision. "Do you want the version where we lower our voices and pretend the walls won't repeat us?" she said. "Or the version where I say it plainly and you decide if you still want to hold my hand after?" "Plainly," I said. "No discounts." She nodded. "I kissed him," she said. "Once. It surprised both of us. It wasn't even good. It felt like a scene stolen from a cheaper film." "How long?" I asked, because men think length is a friend. "Long enough for me to know it wasn't the thing I'm starving for," she said. "Short enough for me to be able to tell you it didn't escalate into the kind of story that sells rooms." "Anger is a bad auditor. It rounds everything up." "Why?" I asked. "Because he looked at me like I could make his life make sense," she said. "Because I walked into a room where everything was staged to forgive him. Because I wanted to know if it was me wanting or just the room." She shook her head. "It was the room." "Did he touch you like I do?" I hated the pettiness even as I asked it. She smiled without humor. "No one touches me like you do," she said. "That's the problem and the solution." The problem, the solution. These were words I could hold. "Nico?" I asked because I had to go through every door. "Went up to fix the latch," she said. "Left before my bucket arrived. He's not the ghost in our hallway." We stood there breathing the same chemical clean air. She stepped closer. Her hand found the back of my neck with the map maker's certainty I fell in love with. "Don't punish me with an essay," she said softly. "Punish me with breakfast rules. Make me tell you the ugly thing before coffee." We kissed. It wasn't a solution. It was a language. We kept it on the good side of decent because the security camera in that stairwell is ancient and hungry. My fingertips found the edge of her shoulder blade, the place that resets me. She breathed out a laugh that had no humor but plenty of recognition. Back at the desk, the audit still didn't balance. A mystery dessert comp refused to settle into the right column. I suddenly loved that about it, proof that even numbers get confused when the night gets loud. At 03:11, a new charge hit 1503, porter unattended cart $0. Translation: someone had left a tray outside without calling, too embarrassed or too busy to wait. Orpheus stamped a housekeeping note, lipstick on napkin, returned to VIP desk. It felt like a god writing marginalia. At 04:02, I wandered to Nico's office under the pretense of a coffee refill. He watched me watch him. "You look like a man auditing a different ledger," he said. "Did you know?" I asked. He sipped, grimaced at the over-extracted bitterness, and pushed the mug away. "I knew the ballroom made everyone feel better than they are," he said. "I knew Maya looked like the answer to questions rich men don't ask out loud. I didn't know she'd try a wrong answer on for size. I do know she's not cruel." "I don't want to lose you over this," I said. "We've shared too many couches." "You keep me if you keep her," he said. "You lose me if you turn into a detective that arrests himself." He was right. He is annoyingly good at being right about other people's temperaments. At 05:17, I printed the night's reconciliation and stapled it with the quiet violence of a man who has chosen to keep the day from falling apart. The P and L balanced. The story didn't. That might be okay. Maya met me at the back entrance when the sky turned into the color that forgives every building. She had her coat over her arm, hair relaxed into something I could bury my face in. "Breakfast rules?" she asked. "Tell me the worst part before the eggs," I said. "I wanted to be wanted in a room that wasn't ours," she said. But when his mouth touched mine, I thought of you explaining the difference between balancing and erasing. I stopped because I didn't want to spend tonight laundering a mistake into a habit. "The best part?" I asked. "I told you before you found a prettier way to hurt me with it," she said. We walked home in the thin morning. The pharmacy downstairs buzzed awake. Our apartment smelled like old coffee and the plant she refuses to admit is dying. I showered until my skin forgot the hotel, and then we stood in our small kitchen saying nothing while toast pretended to be food. She slid onto the counter, pulled me between her knees, and kissed me in a way that felt like a contract. Specific, unambiguous, revocable with notice. We kept it kind. We kept it cautious. Bodies remember what trust feels like, even when narrative doesn't. Later, I messaged the GM about strengthening master key protocols and moved a line item from miscellaneous to education. I asked mapping to add a policy: no event manager deliveries after midnight without a runner. I did not add a line that read, "Protect me from future versions of ourselves. HR hates poetry." The next weekend, a wedding brought 21 cousins who thought they were the main event. Maya looked murderous in heels. I ached for her in a way that felt clean. On my break, I sat with Nico in the camera room while he pretended to diagnose a lens. He nudged a plastic container toward me. Leftovers from his mother's kitchen, spiced rice that could fix a small nation. "You're still here," he said. "I am," I said. "We are." He nodded at the monitors showing empty hallways, and for a second the whole building looked like a stage waiting for truth. "You know the trick with stairwell cameras?" he asked. "They're all liars." "They're all low angles," he said. "They make monsters of people who were just looking for light." At 02:17, a few nights later, because timing likes jokes, I woke to Maya's breath on my neck and the radiator clanking itself into relevance. She whispered, "Am I forgiven?" into the part of me that still knows how to be unguarded. "Not yet," I said, "but I'm keeping the reservation." She laughed into my skin, and I felt it in my bones more than heard it. "What's our cancellation policy?" she asked. 24 hours, I said. Renewable every day. We've become careful with doors. She texts when she's going to run ice anywhere after midnight, even if ice means a bridesmaid's meltdown or a vendor's invoice that needs to be re-signed. I send her pictures of the audit tape like it's a kid we share, long and ridiculous and somehow ours. We don't make promises in the stairwell. We keep hands where words can see them. When we break the rules, and we do because we are not good statues, we break them with each other. Some nights the numbers still come up strange. Some nights I feel the ballroom humming through the building like a song I can't afford to love. But then I watch Maya walk into a room and calibrate it with her voice. Watch her bend a chandelier's stubborn light into something that flatters the truth. And I think, this is a ledger worth reconciling badly if it means I get to keep learning how. Last week Orpheus flagged a folio exception I'd never seen. Room 1503, courtesy adjustment, Ryzen, staff note. I clicked. Nico had comped a bottle of seltzer with a note that read in his brutal handwriting, "For the couple who chose water." It was tacky. It made me grin like a fool. The night audit still doesn't balance perfectly. It probably never will. But at 06:00, when I staple the stack and shut the drawer, I catch my reflection in the lobby glass, tired, a little too earnest, still in love. And I'm okay with a variance when the day we get back is the one where we keep showing up to count.